Good morning, my love muffins. This is Reverend Sue from All Paths to God, recording live from my living room. It was a love fest kind of week, and I was reminded over and over again that love truly is our priority. Friday afternoon, during our high noon, we had the opportunity to celebrate Jerry, our treasurer's 80th birthday. And people lined up outside my house and decorated cars and with signs on them. And then we drove to Jerry's house and beeped our horns and screamed and hollered and hooted and made a general ruckus. And you could tell that she was really touched. As a matter of fact, she said, "Oh my God, I'm just shaking." So it was lovely to be together with so many kind, well-intentioned, loving people to celebrate someone else, to give them a gift of joy. And then Thursday evening, Reverend Denise and I had the honor and the pleasure to officiate Phil and Bonnie Parker's 25th anniversary ceremony to renew their wedding vows. And first of all, it was supposed to rain, so there was not a drop of rain anywhere in the vicinity. So thank you to my prayer ministry and my prayer partners out there that we asked to picture nothing but dry, dry, dry over Valencia Lakes. It was beautiful. And we set up in a basketball court outside so that the friends that they had come and attend could be sporting their masks and effortlessly practicing minimal 6 feet social distancing rules for everyone's safety. Obviously, love and goodness can transcend distance and can transcend 6 feet. Denise and I probably spent weeks planning this ceremony for what, a 5-10 minute ceremony. Because why? Because we were supposed to, or because it was expected of us? No. Because we love to do it. Love flows through us naturally and effortlessly. And when it does, there's just joy associated with it. And it automatically attracts our time and our energy and our attention. And it was just truly a lovely evening. It was clearly a celebration of love. I shared as part of the ceremony, though I don't remember where I originally read this, that we have thousands of important moments that happen throughout our lives. But getting married is regarded as one so critical. We demonstrate its special status by sharing it with others. Why this moment? Because despite all our differences, love is what we all share. It's the great unifier. It's the one universal truth that no matter who you are or where you come from or what you believe, we know this one thing. Love is what we're doing right. Love is truly our priority. We believe that love is the truth of who we are, that it is the essence and the nature of God expressing through us, as us. And since love is the truth of who we are in our highest harmony of being when love is also how we are. When who we are and how we are both present, we light up, we flow, we glow. Know the truth? And the truth shall set us free. I hear you all the time. The miracle of love is that it's given to us to give to one another. And the great mystery of love is that the more that we give, the more it grows in our own hearts. And that was surely evidenced during this Love Fest kind of week. Everyone could feel their hearts expanding at these events. Reminds me of the Grinch that stole Christmas. Remember the end of the show where he all of a sudden allowed love to infiltrate his heart, and you see his heart growing? And what happened then? Well, in Whoville, they say that the Grinch's small heart grew 3 sizes that day. Well, that's what it felt like. Our hearts were just growing. And isn't it true for you, too? That when you are tuned in and aware of love, and when you are open to giving and sharing love, that you can actually feel your heart swell, that there's just such an easy, natural joy? When we give love to any person or circumstance, when we give kindness and compassion and sensitivity and patience, and we can actually feel that lifting in our being. You know, I hear people a lot of times speculate, myself included, on what they would do if they won the lottery. And, well, of course, peeps say obvious things like I want to pay my bills and maybe take a vacation or buy a car, but their heart shows up when they start talking about how they can imagine using it to help someone else. Because when we give love, love grows in our own heart. The more we give, the more it grows. I think that's why it's so hard to be cut off, to be isolated from each other right now. It's not so much that we're missing the social connection as much as we're missing that outlet for the expression of our love. Of course, because if love is who we are, then we are in our best, highest form when it's also how we are, when we also have opportunities to express it fluidly. Love is our priority. It's who we are, it's how we're intended to be, and it's how we want to be. So love is our guiding principle. It guides our lives, the decisions that we make, and it's pretty much our spiritual practice. This is our belief. Wouldn't you agree that love is our primary belief and our primary practice? Well, here's the other thing of which I was reminded during this Love Fest week. And I don't remember where I read this either, but the thing about priorities is there can only be one at a time. To have something be a priority means, it doesn't mean it's just up there on the list. It means it's the first item on the list. Numero uno, the position of highest importance. That would be before anger and irritation and agitation, before wanting to be right, before complaining and blaming and criticizing. Well, before everything else, if it's number one. And if we want to be truth-driven, we have to give our highest value, our top billing, to love, to the nature of who we are, who God is expressing through us, and how we are as we live our lives. That's what establishing a priority means. First, we decide what's important to us. Then we make it the foundation of our purpose-driven life. And we let that foundation, that truth, that principle, that priority, influence, guide, determine everything we think and say and feel and do. While I was doing this, such an image of when I was 10 years old. I got to go into Philadelphia with my mother and father and see The Sound of Music. I don't know how, with 6 kids in the family, I was the only one who ended up going. But I remember it as such a special treat. And it was one of my first exposures to the idea of love as a priority in movie, and it was that I understood, that I grasped, and it was delightful. And you could see how love ruled their lives in the most simple things, like making clothes for the kids out of curtains, because love was the priority over things like conformity or fear of judgment of people's opinions, or even fear of getting in trouble. And you could see it in much deeper things, like the love of their country, their love of their freedom, their not wanting to be part of the Nazi belief system and movement. And you could see it in the obvious, the choice of real love over superficial love that was maybe chosen because of other priorities. You know, the funny thing about that movie is it's said that Christopher Plummer hated working on that show. He was quoted as saying, working with Julie Andrews was like being hit over the head with a giant Valentine's card. Well, if that's a complaint somebody had about me, I'd be living happy. But who knew? We didn't see that. We couldn't tell that from the movie, because the agitation of the moment was obviously not the priority. Being a good actor, the success of the film had to be the priority over being snarky, over giving in to the frustration he was feeling. Here's another little SOM tidbit, SOM, Sound of Music, not Science of Mind. In attempt to squeeze out maximum profit, so there's a priority, in South Korean theaters, they edited out all the songs to be able to air more shows. Can you imagine the Sound of Music without the music? Well, priority was given to profit over love, over the experience of the intention of the movie. It's all a matter of priorities. So what's our priority? Because whatever it is, it will be our guide. And we can't just say what it is. We can't just say the word love, because saying it does not necessarily mean it's our priority at all. When we entertain ideas, or express an opinion, or have a conversation, or have a chat over dinner, or have a chat while we're in the checkout line, or love is our priority or not, right there, depending on how we show up. When we are careless with our own heart, we're choosing not. When we are reckless with other people's hearts, we're choosing not. And that's when we get into turmoil and conflicts, because under such circumstances, something else is our priority. Being heard, being right, being angry, being in charge, being in control, but not being love. People present scenarios to me all the time and ask how to handle them with love. Literally, what to actually say, word for word. It's like they want a script. And I tell them, when love is really our priority, we can't help but find the right words. We don't have to work at it. It's a natural flow through us. Love has its own intention. It has its own warmth and playfulness and creativity and inquisitive nature. Choosing love as our priority doesn't mean we don't have disagreements. It means when we do have disagreements, we don't allow them to break us away from our priority of love. On Golden Pond, another one of my favorite movies with Katharine Hepburn and Henry Fonda, I think, did a great job of illustrating the power of their priority, of their value, of their intention to love and connect and bond over the power of the situation to hook you and draw you in. There was one scene in particular where Henry Fonda and Katharine Hepburn are standing outside with their young step-grandson. Their daughter got married to a man who had about I don't know how old he is, 15-year-old son. And they wanted to go away, and they very suddenly asked grandparents to keep him for a while. And they were standing outside. They have this beautiful house on the lake, and they're standing outside, and Katharine Hepburn says, "It's a beautiful day. I think we'll go fishing. Billy, do you want to go fishing?" And Billy says, "That's bullshit." And Katharine Hepburn, who could have gotten drawn into the moment, says, "I beg your pardon. Does that mean you can't wait to get out there, or it's not your cup of tea?" And Billy says, "It's bullshit, that's what it means." And she goes, "Oh, I see." And she walks off. We can see in moments like this how enticing it would be to get agitated, to focus on a different priority. Behavior, rudeness, being insulted, being unappreciated. But if love is a priority, it will automatically sound different, look different, and have different words. And after she goes inside, Henry Fonda looks at him and goes, "Bullshit, you like that word, don't you?" And you see the kid get all, yeah, kind of like ready for a fight. And Henry Fonda goes, "It's a good word," and walks off. Perfect display of how to not get hooked in who we don't want to be and how we don't want to be. When love is our priority, it doesn't mean we don't set limits. It doesn't mean that we ignore or avoid or make pretend, but that we change how we go about it. It will automatically change our affect, our mood, the way we perceive things, our tone of voice, our body language, our words. In a subsequent scene on Golden Pond, Henry Fonda and Katharine Hepburn are sitting in a room, and Billy saunters into the room and says, "I think I'm just going to haul my ass out to LA. Look, I know I just got dumped here. I know you turkeys don't want me." And Henry Fonda interrupts him and says, "Bullshit. I'm 67 years older than you. How do you know what I want? We're going fishing now. We'd like you to come along. If you'd like to go, I suggest you get your ass down to the dock in 5 minutes." And then he stands up and looks over at Katharine Hepburn and says, "Okay, Mrs. Turkey, let's go." That was just a perfect illustration of how there was a blend of setting limits. There was a blend of direct communication of what they wanted. But there, you can hear the playfulness. You can hear the affection in it. You can hear how they took words that were meant to be combative, turkeys, and turned it into a word of affection. This just happens automatically when we truly are centered in love. So, love is our priority. Love is not what we take out of life. Love is what we bring into it. Yes, we get love out of life, out of ease and joy of life circumstances when we're lucky enough to have them flow that way, like Jerry's 80th birthday and Phil and Bonnie's wedding vow ceremony. But we get love out of life because we bring love to life. And circumstances don't have to be okay. They don't have to be what we would describe as joyous for us to make love a priority and experience love flowing through us and to give love to others. And when we give love to others, it grows in our own heart. Unfortunately, we are so often irritated or anxious or depressed that love isn't even close to being our priority. Or we'd never be able to use the tone and the words we use with others or with ourselves. So your mission, my friends, is love is my priority. Say it with me. Love is my priority. And now, since it's not just a word, you have to identify what your real priorities are. You have to observe your interactions and notice. Your tone, your words, your feelings will reveal what is at the top of your list. And if you recognize it's not love, don't fret. Just imagine, how would the scenario have been different if love was dominating you? I mean, I know you can think of situations where, regardless of what's going on, love just oozes out of you. I think of grandchildren that we just adore, and we know we're supposed to say no to them, but we got this smirk on our face because we think they're so cute. We know what it's like when love takes over. Love is my priority. Say it with me. Love is my priority. And I love you all dearly, my love muffins. I love you.
I like you. I like you. Just plain like you. You make me want to smile. You make me want to dance.
You make me want to shout it from the rooftops. I love you.
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 You're good, you. You're the best. I like you.
I love you. Let the love flow, my friends. We are the people. Now is the time, and this is the way. Namaste, my friends.